Hello everyone, welcome to the subject Web Technology. So this is your 5th semester subject. So in this Web Technology, so we will be deeply focusing on the technologies for developing the website. So the background technologies, what are all those things needed to develop web pages, websites, etc. So here in first unit we will be mainly focusing on the basics of internet, websites, clients and servers, and in the second unit you will be looking around CSS and client side scripting. In the third unit we will be seeing about server side scripting, and in fourth unit we will be discussing about XML, and in fifth unit we will be discussing about Ajax and web services. So here in first unit we will be mainly focusing on the internet basics, internet protocols, HTTP, request messages, client messages, and introduction to HTML. Okay, so in this our first topic today is an interesting topic which everybody is aware today, is internet. So it comes under the subtitle we will be seeing about web essentials. So the web essentials means the client computer, server computer and the background communication protocol. So the very first topic is internet. So what comes mainly to our thought when we think about internet is how to access information globally. So earlier, so without internet, the only choice for us, just think of it, how to access the information. Yeah, so by means of books, libraries, newspapers, we could access the informations. Okay, so in early days we could access information only by means of different modes, like via books, through newspapers, radios, televisions, and now today in 2020 and in I mean of course in the 20th century itself, we have started accessing information apart from these mode. We are accessing via internet. So we will be having a short introduction about what an internet is. Since everybody is aware of that, internet is a global network of different computers and we could access the information in the computers. So computer means in computer itself we will be having client computer and server computer. Those things we will be discussing in deep in the forthcoming topics. So here internet is nothing but interconnection of computers. Each computer will be serving its own purpose and we the user could get information from those computers via a background communication protocol and the computer network. So in this semester also you will be studying about computer network. It's highly, both web technology, this paper and the computer network is highly interrelated. Okay, so without computer network there is no use of websites, and of course for a website to run in the computer and to access the information from information globally, we need a computer network. So that's what in this semester you will be studying both web technology and computer networks. Okay, so both these subjects are highly correlated to one another. Okay, so when we connect a computer to the internet, mainly we will be saying as a going online. So otherwise if we don't have an internet, we will be saying that as an offline. So what do you do with the computer, for example, what do you do with your mobile without having the network? It serves no purpose. So by simply having the hard device itself is of no use. We need a network. Similarly, if I have a computer, we can't do anything. So we need a network accessibility to get information from all over the world. Okay, so how to get an information is via websites. So for the websites to run, we need a computer network. Okay, so going online is simply nothing but when we have a internet connection for any of our gadgets, we will be saying those things are connected to the internet. So in short, World Wide Web we will be saying as a web. Okay, so web is nothing but the collection of websites which serves its different purposes. Can you mention few websites? And of course you could Google for searching information, Facebook for social media, email services are there. So a lot of websites are there. Our own college websites are there. We could access anywhere from our gadgets. Okay, so how does the internet work? So what's the backbone for that to access the information globally? So for this I'll have a little video on that. We will watch all together. Yeah, so that's the basic how the internet works. So in that video, so there you might have heard about new terms like packets, packets, routes, DNS. Okay, so everything you will be studying in deep in both the subjects, web technology and computer networks. So DNS mainly is used to translate the website URLs, for example google.com. So for google.com is it's quite easier for us as a human being to remember, but for the machine which understands only in terms of zeros and ones, it's hard to know what google.com is. So it will take, when we send a request as google.com, first and foremost is the machine will translate that google.com into numbers. Okay, so IP numbers, so IP internet protocol. Okay, so these things you will be studying in the forthcoming topics in both computer networks and web technology. In detail in IP address in computer networks you will be go through it. the main concept here, what I am trying to say is, DNS server is used to translate the human flexible name like google.com into machine understandable zeros and ones format. Okay, so after translating those things, then the IP address, that is the machine identification Google server. Okay, so it will go and fetch that machine and it serves our purposes. Okay, so that's a quite interesting video to watch again and again. And let's move on to the next slide, and things what we could do around with the internet. Everybody can come up with your choices. Okay, recently you have paid the exam fees through online, and you might be watching movies, chatting with friends, making appointments, so doing e-commerce, so you'll be ordering something from commercial websites. Okay, so and so things we could do by sitting in our place itself. Okay, and moving on to next, essential elements of the World Wide Web, simply web. So what are all the essential elements we need? We need a computer system definitely to access the information. So having the hard computer is of no use. We need an internet connectivity. So for that we need the computer network for internet connectivity, and to access the information we need a computer. So simply that computer will be saying as a client computer, because the information is not stored in our computer, we are going to get it from the other computer. So to get an information from the other computer, we need a internet connectivity, and our computer which I am saying as an web client computer system, or simply, so in our computer, so we will be using the browsers to access the information. That browser will be saying as a web client. Okay, so some of the browsers, the popular browsers you could pick Chrome, Safari, then Mozilla's Firefox. Okay, so using those websites, using those web browsers only, we could access the information from the web server. So for web server means a system that provides the information to the user that sits globally somewhere else. We might not be knowing where it is sitting, whether it's in India or outside India or anywhere else. And in the video itself they said we could travel around, the information will be travel around anywhere except Antarctica. Okay, so the server will be sitting somewhere else, which we may not be able to know where it is sitting. So the basic essential elements of web is, we need a web browser. So web browser means the Chrome, Safari, then Mozilla's Firefox. So many browsers are there. So those browsers are in our computer system, laptop, or any gadgets. Okay, so those are said to be the client systems. Client system means just it will send a request. Okay, that's it will do. So that doesn't provide any information. So to gather an information, the web browser simply posts a request, and that gets translated into the DNS will translate the request into machine understandable form. It will, and the background computer network will go and search the requester server, and the server will understand what our request is, and it will send back to the to our machine, and the web browser will render that data and display it nicely. So this is the pictorial representation of how the request response is handled. So client machine is in our client machine we have a web browser, and the user we the user are sending a request, and this is the internet connectivity, and it go for converting our request into machine understandable format, and that finds the correct server, and the server gets excuse me, the server will reply the information to the client, and in the client machine we have the excuse me, and in the client machine we have the web browser to render the information which was sent by the web server. Okay, and let's talk a little about the internet history. As I said earlier, internet is a connection of computer networks. Okay, so connecting one computer to the other computer in a broad manner. Okay, so in 1960s only internet came to its appearance. Okay, so there was an US funded research project named as ARPANET, so Advanced Research Project Agency Network. So in the late 1960s 70s, the US funded research project for US Department of Defense system. Okay, so the network was this project was created for interconnecting computer systems in a geographically dispersed area. So it means in different locations, and also in the heterogeneous system. Heterogeneous system means computers which has its own configuration. One computer is different from the other in sense of operating system, hardware, everything. Okay, so that is said to be heterogeneous. So the origin of internet is internet comes from ARPANET project for US Department of Defense system. Okay, so the main purpose is used to connect the computer in a different location, and that too the computer runs in the computers are heterogeneous, which means one computer is different from the other computer. Okay, so and since it was an government funded project, its limit its accessibility is limited limited to only for certain funding organizations like some universities and some other organizations. It doesn't grow much, though it was very successful and popular. Since it was funded by the government organization, it's not able to grow that much bigger as of like today. And of course in 1972 ARPANET has developed the email. Okay, so ARPANET is the origin for today's internet world. And continuing on the history of internet, so during those 1960s 70s duration, lot of open access networks came into display, like different regional universities started building their own network, like Suranet, Southeastern University Research Association Network. They have their own network, that's Suranet. And Computer Science Network for CS Department, that was again funded by an government agency, not by the it is not an ARPANET project. So simultaneously along with the ARPANET, several different regional universities started building their own network for sharing the information. And of course NSF-NET in the duration of 1985 to 95. NSF-NET means National Science Foundation Network. Okay, they also started building their own network with the background of TCP/IP communication protocol. The main purpose, I'll come to, we will be learning more in detail about TCP/IP both in computer network paper subject and in our paper also. So background for network connectivity is TCP/IP communication protocols. It is used to communicate host to host system. Okay, host to host within the local network or between the networks also, TCP/IP. Okay, as NSF-NET runs under TCP/IP protocol. The main purpose, from this picture itself you could get it clearly, different regional networks are existed, and though if we want to, if regional network, this one wants to communicate with the other regional network, there is no other way. It needs to depend on the backbone as NSF-NET. So NSF is the backbone for connecting different networks. Okay, so it was the main purpose of NSF-NET is used to connect the different regional networks, so as to share the information in a wide area. So that makes a very supercomputing centers. NSFNet, and the secondary purpose of the NSF is it provides the backbone for the other networks. Okay, and each network is connected with smaller networks, again local. Okay, have you able to see the picture? So n number of computers are connected into one smaller regional network, and that is again connected to the backbone of NSFNet. Okay, National Science Foundation net, which runs under TCP/IP protocol. Okay, as I said earlier, the backbone of the internet was initially supplied by the NSF network, and later it was privatized. Today it is a private organization, ISPs. So those are the organization will be providing separate public IP address for our gadgets to have the permanent internet connectivity. Okay, so this is a little introduction about the internet. So from this picture you could get it clearly, so how the internet is connected with the background of ISP. Okay, so somewhere else we are getting the information, so via ISP, internet service provider, they will provide the IP address, public IP address for accessing the information globally via everywhere. Okay, and this is the initial NSF network. So geographic distribution of nodes in different areas, like from San Diego, California to Colorado, Illinois, and New York, so on. So different locations. So these are the regional networks. Those things are interconnected by NSFNet. Okay, this is the origin for this is the backbone for the earlier internet connectivity, and now from NSFNet we are now moved to private network for internet connectivity. Okay, so that's it about our topic, and have a look around these quizzes, and I think with this little introduction of today's topic you will be able to answer it. Okay, so you post it to my number the answers. Okay, if you have any queries you call me. And recap on today's the summary is, so we have seen how internet works, what we will do with the internet, and what's the backbone of the internet. Okay, so in the next class we will be continue moving to the basic internet protocols. Okay, thank you everyone for watching, and this is the resource I got it for this slide internet. So mostly I have referred from the textbook and to other sites. Please go through it.